Christian Garzone sent me a message 30 minutes ago, and he said, Eric, where do you want me to go for the 6 o'clock? And I told him go here, and now I feel bad. So, Christian, what's it looking like, buddy? I'm sorry.
Good Lord. Eric, I think I can hear you. Eric, I was complaining at 5 because it was so bright and sunny, and I said, look, there's nothing to show. I guess we got lucky, if that's the right word. We're in the middle of this right now, Eric. It is blowing. It is raining. We're hiding in a gazebo, trying to anyways, but it's still getting all over us. I'm soaking wet, so just have a towel ready for me back at the station. But we're at Ontario Beach Park right now. Ben's showing you some of the stuff out there. With these storms crossing the region, depending where you're at, we're not out of this yet. This could bring strong winds, as you know, I'm in the middle of right now, within these storms, and it could be severe. They could knock out weaker trees and maybe even a few power lines, leading to isolated outages. Make sure you stay aware and keep your eye on the sky this evening. It could also mean flooding in certain spots. I mean, we're seeing the ground down here. You know, it's getting some pretty thick puddles here. Even in Sweden, we saw some of the drainage out that way, certainly leveling up there. Now, if you have aging infrastructure or stormwater drains that have a tough time, you could see some inches stack up there as well. There's that thunder clapping up above me right now. We're going to have more coverage for you as the night goes on here with these storms. We'll be tracking them for you, so stay with News Channel 8. Eric, you're all dry. I envy you. Back to you in the studio. All of you, Adam Marine, I love you, bless you. You're in a good spot.
I mean,
From Ontario
Christian.
Beach Park, Christian Garzone, News 8.
My goodness.
Also ahead, a shooting on St. Paul Street leaves a teen injured. What police say happened. And growing concerns for local cannabis dispensaries as the OCM faces another lawsuit. How they say it's affecting their business.
From the team you can trust. This is News 8 at 11.
Good evening, I'm Christian Garzone. Isabel has the night off. A 14-year-old now recovering from a gunshot wound this evening. Police say they arrived at 72 St. Paul Street around 6:30 tonight after reports of shots fired. The teen was found with one gunshot wound to his lower body. He was taken to the hospital, but we're told his injuries are non-life threatening. No one is in custody, and there are no suspects at this time. Turning now to the weather, I thought we were getting a taste of fall on Friday. Now we're back to summer full throttle. How does the rest of the week look, Christine?
Yes, well, it's kind of that time of year where we get a little bit of both. We're getting tastes of fall, tastes of summer too. Today was one of those days as we're still around 80 in Rochester, but we'll let you know how this last week of August will play out in a full forecast up next. Then rain chances too, so Christian, this is kind of typical for this time of year, but still no big heat for us in the cards.
Yeah, I see the ring of fire. We're on the edge of it, right?
Yes, right on the edge.
Hate the heat. I can't stand it. I see 50s coming up, right? Overnight, 50s in there?
I think it's possible for sure.
Windows open, hoodie on. I can't wait. Christine, thanks so much. Coming up, today's a big day for a former Rochester policeman. How his family celebrating this big milestone. Next, stay tuned.
You're watching News 8 on WROC.
And welcome back. Exciting news for fans of the New York State Fair. The big event kicks off on Wednesday. Gates open at 9 a.m. and organizers say there's plenty to look forward to, from live entertainment to local food vendors, shopping, and of course, the Midway rides. Tickets are on sale for $6 per person. Kids 12 and under get in for free every day. An important note, if you're driving on 690 or 695 near the fairgrounds, there will be speed limit reduction. That is in effect until the Wednesday after Labor Day. And here's Christine with a final look at the weather forecast. Christine.
Yes. Well, tonight it's going to be nice. We're still going to have clouds around, though, and it'll be warm, muggy, so ACs might have to go on if that's your preference. A little bit of wildfire smoke is tanking our air quality just a little bit, but only those most sensitive will notice. Monday, still kind of dreary, but if you like slightly cooler weather, I think Tuesday is going to be nice for you there. And then we wait until we get better rain chances after Monday, I think Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, and I love those 50s overnight, like I said earlier. I can't wait for that.
Yes,
it's going to be
fall
fantastic.
is coming.
All right, Carl, Christine, thanks so much. That's it for News 8 at 6. Thank you for watching. We'll see you back right here at 11 tonight.
Christian Garzone joins us live from Pittsford Plaza Cinema. Christian, you were there earlier. The folks you met were excited.
They very much so, Adam. 4 shows earlier, totally sold out. Easily people in the hundreds showing up. Some in full Marvel get up with enthusiasm soaring higher than Iron Man. Now, I know you saw the last movie, Infinity War. You talk about it in the newsroom often enough. That's where Thanos, the bad guy, kind of won the day. Now, people coming into the theaters, they outline what they hope this new movie, Endgame, will have in store for them. Marvel fans assemble. Area residents shared with us what they hope to see in this latest outing for the Avengers.
I think there's going to be some hard work and probably some sacrifices yet again.
You're really waiting for that conclusion, like what's going to happen, what's going to happen.
And they make a moment where they all like attack on Thanos.
It's been a long time coming. The culmination of something like, was it 21 films or something?
See all the people that were dusted come back.
We're going to get this kind of second wave of new Avengers. I'm hoping for a win for the good guys this time.
Most were excited for Endgame. Most.
It wasn't my first choice.
Some were not even sure what the commotion was all about. Ladies, are you both here for Avengers?
No, we're not. We came to see Chaperone.
And the reactions, spoiler-free, of course.
Oh my God. Impressed. Intense.
It was incredible.
I just hope everyone enjoys it. I cannot wait. And don't spoil it. Don't spoil it for anyone.
People leaving the first show say you'll think Avengers Endgame will be a total smash.
Hulk smash!
Yes. Ah! Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Say what you want about those sound bites. My favorite one, Adam, were the 2 older ladies there who said, we weren't here for Avengers, we were here for Chaperone. I still crack up about that. And, of course, the guy ripping his shirt off, he was fantastic as well. Don't have my tickets yet. Adam, I hope you've got yours on order. You're going to get out and see it, I hope.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, someone had to sit next to the Hulk there throughout the 3-hour movie. All right, I'm going to out you, Christian. You are a DC Comics guy, but even you've got to be excited about this, no?
Later in the afternoon, we'll see.
Oh, I am. Marvel has done a great job with their movies. It's a huge build-up. It's a huge payoff from what I'm understanding. I can't wait to see it. Even as a DC guy, I can't wait.
All right. You know it's big. Kristen, thank you so much.
Christian, how difficult has travel become there?
Well, it's shut down, and the winds are very difficult. In fact, I think my backside is just about frozen off, and poor Ben here's got the wind whipping him in the face. But this means on the thruway, no vehicles, no cars, no trucks, no trailers, none of that, except, of course, for salt trucks and official vehicles. We've seen a few of those here. This is a straight shot down westbound on the thruway behind me here. As you can see, it's empty. There are reports coming in across the country from places like Ohio of 100-car pileups. No doubt the thruway said, we do not want to see that here. The word from the thruway is stay off the roadways, western New York. It's bad and does not seem like it's going to get better anytime soon. As you said, I-90 is shut down west of here to Buffalo and then down south to the Pennsylvania state line. I can't measure it, but the wind is probably hitting that 50 to 60 mile per hour mark. It's moving both of us around as we stand here. It's certainly dangerous on roads across the region now. If you are driving, take it slow and do not tailgate. It is so cold. For the first time in 10 years, I put a scarf on my mother made for me for Christmas about 10 years ago. It's a scarf day. Mom, thank you and God bless you. I did need this today. It's really bad out here. The thruway said to stand by the way, because more closures and speed restrictions could be coming depending how this goes. Live in Henrietta, Christian Garzone, News 8. Adam, Teresa, right back to you in the studio.
All right, Christian, thank you, and moms know best.
Adam, it's certainly been a journey for those residents at Canal Side. Now, while they might be closing down, there is something these residents are getting out of this that could really reshape their lives. Mark Greisberger with Providence Housing acquired Canal Side in March 2020, working alongside the state.
The original plan was to redevelop the property as a mobile home park.
They wanted to put 25+ new homes here and fix everything wrong. The sewer lines, the potholes, and upgrade the electricity. Greisberger tried to fast-track the project.
I was concerned about the residents who were still living there in somewhat lousy conditions.
But the population of the park started to drop. The town not giving assurances they would approve the work, and the state kept funding the operating deficit.
And without an assurance that there would be an approval, I think they just said enough's enough. And said we're not going to continue to fund this indefinitely.
He says a mutual agreement was made with the state to discontinue the operation.
We would change our focus to how do we take care of the residents who are still there.
Melissa Lair still lives here and says the work Providence planned to do looked great, but says the town wouldn't give them a chance.
I don't think they really have been looking to help, to be honest.
News 8 did reach out to the town, but they directed us to state paperwork with no comment. Now back to that agreement between Greisberger and the state. Lair and others will be getting $20,000 in relocation costs. For her and those who remain, she says this presents an opportunity she never thought possible.
For my family and I, we're looking at buying our first house. That way, all of my kids have their own bedrooms. We can play in a yard.
$1,000 to each family should be going to residents in January. Adam, back to you.
If you've watched News 8, you know the saga of Canalside Mobile Home Park in Lyons. 50 days without power this summer. Now they're facing raw sewage and the possibility of water being shut off at month's end. Now another park with the same owner. The Sandhill Park in Newark is facing its own share of obstacles. Christian Garzone was on site earlier today.
Terry Russell has been living at Sandhill Mobile Home Park in Newark for 5 years, and for 3 of those years, he says he's battled raw sewage.
When it rains, the neighbor's septic comes up in our commode, and it comes up in our bathtub and up in our sink. We're sitting here and this house smells like crap.
Russell says multiple homes have similar ground septic issues, a problem that falls upon the owner to fix, according to state health laws. He says he alerted owner Phil Provenzano, and there was some work done by Provenzano's brother, but it didn't fix the issue.
They try to blame it on me, saying I broke it. We haven't heard from them in like 3 months.
Septic issues are not the only problems plaguing the park. Residents say condemned trailers are sitting vacant and years' worth of garbage is piling up.
I got sewer, broken glass, abandoned trailers, garbage blowing around.
Brett Evans lives next to the open dump and has 3 children. His biggest concern, in addition to everything else, is the rats. He says as big as this.
Oh, this big of a rat, about tails on them like that.
In a statement, the town code enforcer says multiple violations have been issued to EPCP properties, ranging from unsafe structures to dumping and septic. He says park owner Phil Provenzano outlined plans to have things fixed by August, but nothing's been done, and he's been due in court.
One time Phil says, "You don't even thank me for what I've done for you." And I'm thinking, what have you done for me? You raised my rent.
For his part, Russell's not hanging around much longer.
We're trying to get out of here, because you can't deal with them guys.
Now, I did reach out to Provenzano today. There's been no call back. I did speak with his brother, who only told me Phil does not own the park, but I checked again with the town. They told me Phil Provenzano does own the park.
So he's not showing up for court. What happens next with the town on this one?
Well, that's a good question. The code enforcer says they're trying to figure out that next step since he's ignored all the appearance requests.
All right.
And of course, we can't forget about Canalside.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the scene of so much distress for residents this summer. What's the status there?
I checked in with residents today. That no word yet of water will be shut off on the 29th. They still don't know, but I'll check with the Water Authority tomorrow on that one and have an update for you.
All right.
Christian, thank you.
Thank you.
Christian Garzone is also live on scene at Court Street. Christian, you were there last night as well. Pepper spray. I know that you were affected by that then. Is it the same thing right now? What's going on?
Well, the difference here is the police have kind of barricaded a whole street off. They moved the protesters up and away, saying this is an unlawful gathering, evacuate the area, get out, and there's pepper balls all over the place. Our cameraman Patrick Riley was hit. I had a bunch of dust go in the face, so excuse me if I sniffle or sneeze or cough on air. I do apologize. But let's dial back to what you were talking about a second ago. Now, while protesters are largely calling attention on what happened on March 23rd, there was a lot of discussion today about what happened in the weeks and months after, essentially talk of who knew what when it came to Daniel. Specifically, City Hall's legal team came out saying they did not let the public know about Daniel Prude's death or investigate the officers involved because it was the Attorney General's case, and they claim on June 4th they called the AG's office because Prude's family was asking for body cam video.
During that conversation, Ms. Summers indicated that she had an ongoing investigation and that in matters like this, they prefer that material not be released to the public because they find that that interferes with their investigation, and she made specific reference to the body-worn camera video.
Now, the AG's office responded today saying this, quote, "There was never a request from the Attorney General's office to the City of Rochester Corporation Counsel to withhold information about the events surrounding the death of Daniel Prude. Plain and simple, once again, the City of Rochester and the Rochester Police Department are free to move forward with their own investigation," end quote. Now, since the family did come out with the video, the city has suspended with pay 7 officers involved and announced they're conducting an internal investigation. In downtown Rochester, Christian Garzone, News 8. Adam, back to you in the pepper spray-free studio.
Yeah, Christian, please take care of yourself. Thank you for that report, despite everything. Rochester Mayor Lovely Warren is now facing several new felony charges tonight, including criminal possession of a firearm and endangering the welfare of a child. All of this stemming from the search warrant executed at the mayor's home back in May. Her husband, Timothy Granison, was arrested and charged after that raid. And today, the charges Warren is facing got added to his list as well. Christian Garzone joins us live from Monroe County Court. Christian, what are we learning?
Well, Adam, that criminal possession of a firearm is a Class E felony, and endangering the welfare of a child is a Class A misdemeanor, both of which could carry prison time. Now, as you said, this indictment was the result of a search warrant conducted by state police on May 19th, part of a larger investigation with the Greater Rochester Area Narcotics Enforcement Team. The warrant was the end of a months-long drug investigation, culminating in the arrest of several individuals, including Warren's husband, Timothy Granison. Upon the arrest of Granison, a search warrant was conducted at his residence, 93 Woodman Park, where police say he resides with the homeowner, wife Mayor Lovely Warren. A rifle and pistol were found in the home, where Warren and Granison's 10-year-old daughter was left alone. With this, the state police and the DA's office presented both cases to a grand jury, resulting in the indictment. After Granison was arrested in May, the mayor said she had a separation agreement with her husband, and she said she did nothing wrong, adding all of this was politically motivated. Now, both Warren and her husband are scheduled for arraignment here before a Cayuga County judge. That could come at any time. From the county courthouse live, Christian Garzone, News 8. Adam, right back to you in the studio.
Christian Garzone joins us now live from the Hall of Justice with more on all of this. Christian.
Well, Adam, the defense today tried to paint a picture that Lipton was an abused woman all her life, sexually, physically, and psychologically, especially at the hands of Anthony Love. It's something the prosecution said was never really talked about or verified, and Judge Argento just wasn't buying it. In fact, the judge said, even if that were all true, this in no way should have led to the death of 3-year-old Kamir Marshall. Just some background here. Lipton left her son in the hands of Anthony Love, and prosecutors say she recklessly contributed to the child's death and failed to seek medical attention when he was in pain. Love was a caregiver for Marshall at the time. Investigators say he ruptured his spleen and left him with pelvic fractures after beatings. He is now serving 25 years in jail. Before Lipton was sentenced, Judge Argento did not mince words in all this. She looked directly at Lipton and told her, "You were not the mother of Kamir Marshall." And Lipton, pregnant again, the judge told her, "You, of all people, should not be having any more children." The godmother of little Kamir had a lot to say to Lipton today. She's hoping Lipton stays behind bars for the full duration of those 15 years.
We needed to let her know that even though she tried to get the gag order for the trial and antagonize us, that at some point we were going to have a chance to speak, and that's what we did, because you don't play with fire and act like you're not going to get burned.
You should never have to say the murder of a 3-year-old, ever. It's not natural. It's terrible. It's a horrible thing to think about. People put their heads on the pillows in this community every night and think that it doesn't happen, and it does.
Now, at 7.5 years, Lipton will be eligible for parole, but again, she did get the maximum of 7.5 years to 15 years in prison. Live in Rochester, Christian Garzone, News 8. Adam, Teresa, right back to you in the studio.
Leah Arroyo have both been charged now with murder in the 2nd degree. Christian Garzone has more from an emotional morning at City Court. Christian.
Yeah, this morning, Javante Huff's mother watched from the stands as his accused killers pleaded not guilty to those charges. Now, Huff's mother already lost a son a few years ago. Now, here she is again, another son gone. Javante shot to death, gone in a senseless act. She had strong words today for the accused killers. Police say this all happened at the Sunoco gas station at 780 Dewey Avenue. Rochester police responded there early in the morning Saturday. Police say Huff was struck on the upper body and died later at Strong Hospital. Officers did say an altercation took place involving multiple people. Once that fight ended, a vehicle leaving the scene circled back around, firing multiple shots at the group. Police do not think Huff was the intended target. Now, later on Saturday in the evening, police say another shooting occurred on Agnes Street and Hudson Avenue. No one was struck there, but police did see a vehicle leaving there. A pursuit ensued, and police captured Mr. Stewart and Miss Arroyo. A 9mm handgun was found in their car. Police say these two were involved in the shooting on Agnes and Hudson and the shooting that took the life of Javante Huff. Huff's mother said this kind of grief is overwhelming. She told Stewart and Arroyo she wants them to know exactly how she's feeling right now.
What I want her to know is I'm his mother. You took something from me that I created. I gave birth to that kid. And you came along riding down the street being cool. And now you're in jail for murder. That young man just turned around and laughed. I feel sorry for him. I don't wish nothing bad on nobody. But I want them to feel the pain that's raging in me right now.
And the next court date for Stewart and Arroyo is this Friday at 2 p.m. Live in Rochester, Christian Garzone, News 8. Adam, Teresa, right back to you.
All right, Christian, thank you.
John Jack Foy was studying engineering at Cornell in 1943, but answered the call to duty as part of the Greatest Generation. He spent most of his time serving in Europe under General George Patton.
As a machine gunner in an infantry company.
The Battle of the Bulge, a miserable memory.
That was the most horrible thing I've ever had in my life.
In the bitter cold, marching and fighting the Nazis through France, Belgium, and into Germany.
But we ran into the cream of the German army coming down, mostly SS troopers. We had a hell of a battle.
Foy, not looking at the enemy lives he took over those weeks lightly. One particular instance haunts him of a German popping out of a foxhole.
And he came up, I cut him in half.
Foy says about 85 of 200 Americans alongside him died.
I lost a lot of my best friends there.
Foy believes the Battle of the Bulge is the worst fighting the U.S. Army has ever been in. In 2019, then President Trump invited Foy to be the main speaker at a National Veterans Day talk in New York City.
It was just almost beyond belief to have the President of the United States say what a wonderful soldier I am.
The hell of fighting during the Battle of the Bulge is something he shared in June of this year on the beaches of Normandy in a speech seen around the world. Foy certainly gets around at 98 years old. Through it all, Foy, while proud of his service, does not want his grandchildren to ever enlist and experience the horrors of combat.
I would hate to see them go into the Army.
In Charlotte, Christian Garzone, News 8. Well, Jack is an 11-year-old boy battling a brain tumor, and he's a golf fanatic. From his roll-up here early this morning to late this afternoon, this was a day fit for a celebrity, thanks to the PGA, Oak Hill, and Camp Good Days. Jack Harrison is crazy about golf. Today, he got the chance to meet some of the players in a tucked-away lounge room and get a private lesson. He also arrived in a VIP limo.
Today was just an amazing day.
This was all done with the PGA teaming up with Camp Good Days. Jack has a brain tumor. This dream of his granted to make his fight a bit easier.
We watched a couple of players, Rory McIlroy, John Rahm.
Gary Mervis founded Camp Good Days 43 years ago after his own daughter suffered from cancer.
It was during that time that I realized Teddy's
toughest battle wasn't the treatment, it was the loneliness.
He said Camp Good Days has left positive memories when these young kids are often at their lowest.
They're all helping to provide this young man with an experience they're gonna carry with them all their lives.
Harrison singing the praises of Camp Good Days.
It's amazing. I can't tell you how much I love it.
Harrison now leaving here with memories that will last a lifetime.
Just everything, basically. It's so amazing. And yeah, I'll cherish everything forever.
And Jack did want to send a special shout out to his teacher, Mr. Bowden. He says along with his family, they've all been a very comforting force as he goes through this stage in his life. From Oak Hill, I'm Christian Garzone.
You might have seen this on social media. Tonight is Christian's last day here at News 8. And I just want to thank you for your service. And I don't say that lightly, your service during what I consider to be one of the hardest stretches for journalists in TV news history from the pandemic on. So thank you for that.
Yeah, 2020 to 2022, the COVID, the social unrest, and the crime, certainly. Heartbreaking time for so many people in the community. And it's odd to say it was a privilege to cover all that. It was challenging, but again, heartbreaking for so many families. And thank you for letting me into your homes for the past now 5 years. No doubt hundreds, if not thousands of stories told at this point.
Yeah, and stories told very well by this individual. The good news is you're going to stay in town.
I'm staying in town. I'll be working at the Veterans Outreach Center. It's a cause I believe in, and I'll be doing communications. I look forward to starting there on Wednesday.
All right.
Yeah, long weekend. First Labor Day off in 5 years. I can't wait.
There you go. More stories to come from Christian Garzone. Thank you again.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure's been ours.